Assalamu alaikum. Today is day 14 of Ramadan. And today it's going to be very special because we're going to focus on Prophet Muhammad and why some people have an issue with following the Sunnah to the point where they don't even think it's important. They call them the Quranis, and they think Quran is enough. Now, I must say, when I first learned about Islam, and even when I was first a Muslim, I did underplay the role of Prophet Muhammad because I didn't know. I just knew Allah was one and had no son, and of that I was sure. And I knew that he sent prophets, and I was quite accepting of that, including Prophet Muhammad. But there's something about when you've been raised, let's say, not a Muslim. I was raised a Catholic, but as I told you before, I never really believed in it. However, they focused so much upon Jesus. Jesus was everything, and it affects you. So when I did accept Islam as a Muslim, I was making some sort of an analogy that, listen, I didn't believe in Jesus as my power, okay? So why am I going to believe in Muhammad? To me, it was an analogy that these two messengers are not Allah. So even though I did not claim or believe that Quran was enough, I knew there was something called the prophets, the messengers. Muhammad was the final one, and now you're a Muslim, he's the best one. That's what I was told. Although way back then, 40 years ago, they weren't really into the concept of Tawheed and the unity of the message that all prophets came with. Do you believe that 40 years ago, when I was a new Muslim, they were actually making a differentiation regarding the prophets? And they would actually say, oh, well, those are for the Jews, and those are for the Christians, and Prophet Muhammad is for us. It was a very dark time, shall I say, in the truthfulness of the Aqidah of the Muslims, because either they didn't realize it or they didn't want to discuss it because they wanted this exclusivity, meaning these are your people, or those are your people, these are our people. So they had this presentation as though the Arabs over there, they were the Muslims, and so be it, we don't really care because we're not Arabs over there, we're Christians over here, and we have Jesus, and that's all we need. He's our Savior. And the Jews, well, they have the other prophets. And it was such a strange condition because on the face of it, you could see how it's ridiculous. Why would Allah be sending all of these brave, wonderful men and we all couldn't benefit from them? I don't want to go into this too much. All I can say is those my age who lived in that time period know what I'm talking about. It was definitely a divide and conquer type of thing. And now we know that it's the opposite. It's not divide and conquer. It's unite and conquer, because Islam is growing so fast now. And it's becoming so obvious about it. So let's just read the Kitab al-Tawheed, because nowhere else are you going to find this kind of defined, sure, fail-safe explanation. There's just so much in here. I have to sift through it in order to give it to you in 10 minutes, which this is not going to happen today, obviously. But I'm going to try to, as I say, there's at least 100 pages of Tawheed here in the first volume, and I'm going to sift through it because there's so much more in here as well. Oh, the other subjects, when you get onto them, they're all connected to Tawheed, but they are perfect. These subjects in this book. Let's start now. Why must we love Muhammad? Must we learn to love Muhammad? I can honestly tell you, when I first became a Muslim, I didn't love Muhammad. How can you love someone you don't even know? I was told that there is a messenger called Muhammad, sent by Allah, and he was great. Well, if you don't study what he did and you don't know why he was great, it takes a while. And this is why the Sunnah is ignored. It's ignored, number one, because the bad ulama as-su. Prophet Muhammad said, I fear so much from my ummah, from the ulama as-su, the bad scholars. Another phrase is ulama as-sulta, the government authorized scholars. These subjects are very heavy and they're very ever present. So I don't want to burden you, I don't want to scare you, but without this Kitab al-Tawheed, you're going to end up doing any weirdness that you might find is appealing to you. And this book stops it in its tracks. Because if we don't stop it in its tracks, we're going to end up with a different religion. It's not going to be Islam. It will be Islam light. That's the word that's used now. Pseudo-Islam. Another word that I really don't like is called baby Islam. Astaghfirullah. So let's get into our proofs. I'm calling this passage, Why Do We Love Muhammad? وَنُحِبُّ الرَّسُولُ اللَّهِ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَسَلَّمَ لِلَا وَفِيلَا. You know, you say, أَنَا أُحِبِّكَ فِي اللَّهِ. They say that so much in Egypt. I love you for the sake of Allah. I love you by Allah. Well, that's what this means. You're saying to someone, of course it's Allah is the first and the last. But I also, and here we can add in here, فَحُبُّ رَسُولَ اللَّهِ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَسَلَّمَ مِنْ حُبِّ Allah. So right here, let's start. Loving the Prophet is from loving Allah. But you can't just say it. You have to explain it. And that's what I'm trying to do. فَنُحَقِّقْ شَهَادَةً أَنَّ مُحَمَّدَ رَسُولُ اللَّهِ. We verify our shahada. وَذَلِكَ بِأَنْ نَعْتَقِدَ فِي ذَلِكَ بِقُلُوبِنَا. Because we really believe in it from our hearts. وَنَعْتَرِفَ بِهِ بِأَلْسِنَتِنَا. And we confess with our tongues that we love Prophet Muhammad. وَنُطَبِّقْ ذَلِكَ فِي مُتَابَعَتِهِ. We verify this by following him. It's called ittiba'. Ittiba' sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Bi jawarihna, by our bodily parts, arms, legs, tongue, we're talking, we're walking. فَنَعْمَلْ بِهَدِيهِ. And we follow him because he guides us. وَلَا نَعْمَلَ لَهُ أَمَّا مَا يَنْقَضْ تحقيق هذه الشهادة. Now, those who don't, either by determination that they just say, no, I'm not going to follow Prophet Muhammad. We have examples about this. Number one, فعل المعاصي. They disobey. في المعصية نقص في تحقيق هذا الشهادة. When you disobey, you are naqas. It means you're taking away from the depth of the shahada that you said you would do. لأنك خرجت بمعصيتك من اتباع النبي. So by your disobeying, you have just left following the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Or you could also do number two, al-ibtida'. You could create innovation, بدعة. بدعة. Ba, dad, ayn. This is so common all over the world. بدأ في الدين ما ليس منه. You're inventing something from the religion that is not there. لأنك تقربت إلى الله بما لم يشرع الله. You are doing things for the sake of Allah that Allah never told you to do. ولا رسولي صلى الله عليه وسلم. Nor did Muhammad. والابتداع في الدين في الحقيقة, this is so sad, من الاستهزاء بالله. Now, he's saying, this is the sharh of Shaykh Uthaymin. He is saying here that if you invent something that Allah never told you to do and Prophet Muhammad never told you to do, you're joking. The word is istihza. It means you're making fun of Allah. This is so heavy. I remember when I first read it, I said, do I have to say that? Istihza billah? Well, in a way, when you think about it, لأنك تقربت إليه بشيء لم يشرع. So you're thinking you're going to get closer to him by something he never told you to do. لم يشرع, Sharia, the way. Sharia means, the word Sharia, aslan, means get you where you want to go in the best possible fashion. That's why the Sharia cannot be easily just said, oh, Sharia, no Sharia, get out, we don't want Sharia. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't understand Arabic. You have no respect for even trying to find out. We'll get to that much later, all the laws and the prohibitions. And really? Stoning? Is it real? No, it couldn't be. Stoning? That can't be true. Yes, it's true. And we have all the proofs. They try to hide things, Cutting off hands? No, that can't be true. Well, I hope you love it when you can't even go in the supermarket and come out and find your car. Let's go on. فإن قال قائل, when someone said, إن نويت التقرب إلى الله بهذا العمل الذي ابتدعه. I'm going to get closer to Allah with this idea that I'm going to do, which I'm inventing. And this is why you have all of this Sufi, what they do, twirling and saying, oh, 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 oh. And the ones that wear the big white skirts, and that's so obviously a big bid'ah. It's not even funny. So here we're talking about, should you give them an excuse? قيل له أنت أخطأت الطريق. You are wrong. فتؤذر على نيتك. Should we excuse you according to your niyyah, your intention? ولا تعذر على مخالفة الطريق حتى علمت الحق. We can until you learn the truth. فالمبتدعون قد يقال إنهم يثابوا على حسن نيتهم. They say they'll get a reward according to their intention. إذا كانوا لا يعلمون الحق, if they don't know what is the truth. ولكننا نخطئهم فيما ذهبوا إليه. But we will scold them according to what they went and did. أما أئمتهم الذين علموا الحق, as for their imams who do know the truth, ولكن ردوه ليوبقوا جاءهم ففيهم شبه بأبي جهل. These imams who deliberately disobey, they're resembling Abu Jahl, the enemy. وعتبة bin Rabi'a والوليد bin Mughayra. These people who were alive at the time of the Rasul, وغيرهم الذي قابلوا رسول الله النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم برد إبقاء على رئاستهم وجاههم. They were worried about their own position. أما بالنسبة لاتباع هؤلاء الأئمة, regarding following the bad imams, فينقسمون إلى قسمين. We'll give you two compartments here of these people, why they follow bad imams. القسم الأول الذين جهلوا الحق, those who really truly don't know. فَلَمْ يَعْلَمُوا أَنُّ شَيْئًا. They haven't the slightest clue what they're supposed to be doing. وَلَمْ يُحْصِلْ مِنْهُمْ تَقْصِيرًا فِي طَلَبٍ حَيْثُ ظَنُّوا أَنَّ مَا هُمْ عَلَيْهِ هُوَ الْحَقُّ. They just believe in what they're doing is correct. فَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْمَعْذُورُونَ. We can excuse these types. القسم الثاني من عالموا الحق ولكنهم ردوه تعصبا لأئمتهم. They don't have tashkil in this book. It's really difficult, even for an Arab, when they don't put the harakah, fatadama kasr, but I'm trying my best. They're doing this because they don't want to go against their imams. We see a lot of that. فَهَؤُلَاءِ لَا يَعْذُرُونَ. These are not going to get a pass. فَهُمْ كَمَنْ قَالَ اللَّهُ. And here's an ayah. مَنْ قَالَ اللَّهُ فِيهِمْ أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إنا وجدنا آباءنا على أمة وإنا على آثارهم مهتدون. This is in Surah Zukhruf, ayah 22. Allah is saying, we found them doing according to their imams. I'm sorry, they are saying our forefathers did this. So we're going to do this because obviously they believe their forefathers had imams and they believed in their imams. And so we believe in our forefathers, so we're going to do it too. Poor excuse. قُلْهُ. Tell them. وَنَعِيسَى عَبْدُ اللَّهِ وَرَسُولُهُ الْكِلَامِ فِيهَا كَكِلَامِ فِي شَهَادَةٍ أَنَّ مُحَمَّدٌ رَسُولُ اللَّهِ. So in regards to Prophet Isa, and it's very curious, or not curious, it's good, but whenever they mention Isa, they always say Abdullahi wa Rasuli. They never say it just like plain. They always mention Isa was a prophet of Allah. إِلَّا أَنَّنَا نُؤْمِن بِرَسُولُ Isa. So we have to believe that he was a messenger. وَلَا يَلْزَمَنَا اتِّبَاعُ إِذَا خَالِفَ شَرِيعَتَنَا. However, we are not beholden to follow anything Isa did if it differs with our Sharia. The Sharia min qablina laha thalatha halat. So you might ask, well, what was the Sharia before, in Isa's time or before that? We will tell you. We have three types. Al-ula, an takunu mukhalifa shariatna. They are different from us. Number two, an takunu muwafiqa li shariatina. In this case, فَنَحْنُ مُتَّبَعُونَ لِشَرِيَتِنَا. Okay, so if it's the same as shariatina, then there's no problem. And then the last one, أَنْ يَكُونُوا مَسْكُونَ عَنْهَا. And this is what is the majority of what's going on. The third one is, it's not commented on. Maskun, sakin, it means shh. Nobody's mentioning anything. وفي هذه الحال اختلف علماء الأصول. Of course, the difference of opinions among the scholars. هل نعمل بهذا أو ندعها? I'll leave it. Should we do it or should we not do it? وصحيح أنها شرع لنا ودليل ذلك. And he's saying the truth is we should do it. And here's the proof. قوله تعالى أولئك الذين هدى الله وبهداهم اقتدى. These are those whom Allah has guided, and by their guidance we are guided. This is Surah Al-An'am, verse 90. Also, لقد كان في قصصهم إبرة لأولي الألباب. In their stories, there is an example for us. A wise ibra means follow it. And this is in Surah Yusuf, verse 111. وَقَدْ تَطَرَّفَ فِي عِيسَى طَائِفَةً. I'm sorry, this one's going to have to come with this because if I stop, it won't make sense. These two groups were not honest about Isa. Al-Ula, al-Yahud. كذبوا. The Jews lied about him. فقالوا بأنه ولد زنا. They said he was an illegitimate bastard. وأن أمه البغاية. And his mother was a prostitute. This is what they say. Believe it or not, it's the truth. It's so horrible. وأنه ليس بنبي. And he is not a prophet. وقتلوه شرعا. So this is like they're saying killing him is okay. شرعا. قتلوه شرعا. أي محكوم عليهم عند الله أنهم قتلوا في حكم الله شرعا. So this is this ongoing problem. Was he killed? No. Well, then who was hanging there on the cross? This is such a giant... Until now, there are two different opinions among those who believe in Jesus as a quote-unquote God, and others. They're saying, well, it only appeared so to them. It's called shubha. Why did it appear so to them? Well, maybe they crucified the wrong man. That could be one reason. Was it deliberate that they wanted that one man to seem like he died on the cross? Was that something that we could even consider? Or was it that it was a mistake? You see, this subject right here, this crucifixion subject, is the subject, which is why they still put the crosses in the homes, and the Pope walks around with this giant pole with a giant cross on it. And even, I better stop now, but I have to tell you this because this is too good to not tell you. Do you know when I lived in Egypt, they have a pope of the Egyptian Christians. They're called the Coptic people. In their language, we say al-Qibt, al-Aqbat. Their pope would literally, I don't even, it's Ramadan, should I? Of course, Allah loves the truth. Because he was a mini pope, the Pope in Vatican, the Roman Pope, is the big, big, big deal that has all the pomp and circumstances and owns half the gold in the world and the silver. And oh, when I do my history, you will love these stories because you never heard them before. The Pope in Rome is the big honcho. He's like the leader of all Christianity. The Egyptian popes are very, very... People don't even know the Egyptians have popes. I mean, they're just so unknown. It's because there aren't many Coptic Christians. There aren't many. But what does he have the nerve to do? Coming to every single time, let's say, I'm fasting. But I should have no excuse now. It's only what? What time is it now? About 1 o'clock? I have no excuse. 1 in the afternoon. I'm usually doing these at night. Any formal time, any legitimate meeting, any publicized where journalists are around and who's who are around, this Pope has a giant stick, just like the one the Pope in Rome uses. And it's got a pole, and it's got this gigantic cross crucifix hanging there. Like, if it's crucifix, it means it's hanging there bloody with nails in the hands and the feet and the crown of thorns and the blood dripping down. That's called a crucifix. That's the one that's scary. When you were a child, you'd have to see it all over your house, and It would be in your room at night, and I'd lie in my bed and say, I know you're up there. I know you're not on the wall. That's not you. I used to talk to a lot. And with the statues of Mary everywhere, being raised a Catholic is, it's a trauma. But you'll get over it if you just think about Allah. Even if you don't know his name, you know he's not that. So the first thing you have to do is to deny. You know, they say in Arabic slang, "Khalli qabla ma tamalli." Take out before you insert in. So in order for you to get your proper aqidah, you have to remove the junk that you've been brought up with. And I was new in Egypt, a new bride, and I would see the newspaper and the TV, and I would always see these Coptic popes proudly marching in the face of Muslims, not just the president, but the shuyukh, the ulama, who are ordered to accept this. Now, I, as an American, watch out, they're going to say you're a terrorist. Well, I'm Irish, so perhaps you might have some small excuse for calling me that. We'll get into that when we do Irish history. You're going to love my new channel, my history channel. We can talk about all the things that nobody has ever told you about. Because in the Middle East, there's a lot of restrictions. That's all I can say. So one of the things that they would explain to me, my Egyptian friends, is, we have to do it because, they're one-fifth of our populace are Christian. And we can't in any way, we're not allowed to discuss. They call it fitna ta'ifiyya. You're not allowed to discuss aqidah. I just couldn't. I mean, I was living there. I'd discuss it, but I'm not Egyptian, you see. Public discussions are not allowed, nor are they allowed in schools or clubs, or you just can't sit down with an Egyptian Christian and say, hey, let's talk about this. Forbidden by the government. Oh, we're going on to 27. Yeah, but I say this deserves a half an hour because we're talking about our religion, our Tawheed, our Islam. Can't we even get it straight about Prophet Muhammad at least, and how he stands in distinction to Jesus, or how much is similar to Jesus, the Prophet of Allah? Yes, it's Ramadan. All the great battles were fought in Ramadan. And guess what? The Muslims won every one of them. So therefore, I'll have to stop here because we're going to get on to another lesson, giving you more details about the Jews and Christians' take on Islam. And why does the surah say, lakum dinakum waliya din? Why does it say, I don't worship what you worship and you don't worship what I worship? You have your way, we have ours. But if you want to be polite, civilized society, if you want to have a discussion, why don't you come without your accoutrements? You don't have to stick that cross in the president's face, do you? Oh, I would not say that's wise. Who's who here? Now, lakum dinakum waliya din. Okay, yes, you do your thing, but you shouldn't be doing it in such an overtly insensitive fashion, because we love Quran, and we believe when Allah says he wasn't crucified. He was taken up when he fulfilled his mission. So, I don't know. I just think it's rude. I still think it's rude. But I was raised with freedom as much as, freedom of religion is a good thing. Freedom of speech is a good thing. Just try not to be rude. Don't be aggressive. Lakum dinakum waliya din. We're not going to kill you if you don't want to be a Muslim. But there's such a thing as decorum. There's not much left anymore. But I'm going to say salam alaikum because I'm going to make it exactly a half an hour. Assalamu alaikum.